Hey guys, welcome to the High School Backups podcast. My name's Nick, and I'll be welcoming you into what this fun, hopefully long adventure will be for us here. We're a bunch of friends from college turned into nerds and young adults, if that's what you'll call us. I don't think we're adults yet. But we're here to talk about sports, probably say some dumb things along the way, and hopefully have an entertaining product for everyone to watch, and hopefully we enjoy for a long time. To start off with an introduction myself, my name is Nick. Nicholas, for those who are mad at me. I am a big fan of all sports. I'm a big competitive guy, esports included. And I love football is probably the main one, but really just anything that gets the jimmies running, played frisbee in college. That was a good time. A little bit of high school football before I, hit my growth spurt, so I was kicked off, but that. But here we are.
What's up, everyone? My name is Andrew. I really love sports in general, just all around. Football, soccer. Played soccer in high school, ran track as well, and then in college I just started playing ultimate frisbee, and from there I met all these guys.
What's up, internet world? My name is Austin. I grew up in Connecticut, so this made me in the tricky spot of being between Boston and New York. So I actually grew up a New York fan, and then the rest of them were Boston. So a lot of the guys on here are with me on most of sports, but then also a lot of them are against me, and our friend Kyle, who you will meet in a few seconds. I was a two-sport athlete in high school. I ran track and played soccer, and then I also ran track at Plymouth State College in New Hampshire. So now I'm just living like most of us and enjoying anything competitive, honestly. Esports to regular sports to betting on which stick's going to make it down the river the fastest. I don't care if it's competitive, I'm going to try to win.
Hey everyone, my name is Jake. Obviously, I'm a big football and boxing guy. I've been a Patriots fan since I was born, probably before I was born. And I played high school football, played a little lacrosse, and you're going to hear me predict the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl consistently.
Amen.
All right, my name is Justin. I played soccer in middle school and high school, so about 15 years, because actually before that as well. I played frisbee with everyone in college. Nick going on esports. I play Rocket League now, but not that official. So another just sport to add to the list. I am a fan of football as well.
Hey all, my name's Kyle. I'm a huge sports fan like everyone else here. The big one that I focus on is hockey. I can talk hockey 24/7. Doesn't matter what kind, doesn't matter if it's NHL or even college, I'll talk it all day long. I also was on the Ultimate Frisbee team in college. I was terrible, but I don't care. I love doing sports no matter what, so I'm looking forward to doing this. It'll be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, my name's Steve. So I didn't really play sports at all, like in high school, but I was on a swimming team for 2 weeks when I was in elementary school. But now I've always been a Patriots fan. Grew up. I learned my first curse words from my grandmother, cursing at the TV. I love watching any sport. Martial arts is a lot of fun, and professional Dungeons and Dragons. That's a good sport too.
Yes, as you guys will learn, Steve is the jokester of many jokesters, the memer of many memers. So we will definitely get to know everyone along this journey. We're very excited to kind of do this. We talked about this for 3 years. We did a little fake one in the library at college one time. We still have the recording. It's very interesting to listen back to, but we're going to have a good time. So let's get right into it. First topic of today. As most of us, actually all of us, are kind of football first, or football at least first or second, we want to talk about the Super Bowl a little bit. So, what are general thoughts around that? What do you guys think? Did it go well? A little bit about Joe Burrow, maybe. What do we think? Jake, go ahead.
So I'm happy for Matt Stafford, man. I mean, he spent over a decade in Detroit, kind of suffering down there. Barely could get to the playoffs. When he did, he couldn't get a win. The Bengals need to get Joe Burrow an offensive line. That's really the takeaway from that. The Rams built a super team, essentially. They have guys like Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Odell Beckham Jr., Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford. And they came away with a 3-point win. I don't think there's that many superstars over in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase come to mind. Joe Mixon comes to mind, but nobody on the defense. It's incredible. I mean, the old saying of any given Sunday really showed up.
That's a good point, and it's one of those things where, like, personally, like, I was just a huge Joe. I don't even care about LSU or any of that, but Joe Burrow's story, like, being injured, like, if Alex Smith could have won a Super Bowl, I would have rooted for him too. Like, it was the same exact story. You know, I was someone who got a gruesome injury, although Alex Smith was worse. Came back and brought a team who was 4-6-10 or something stupid, or 4-6-8 or something stupid. I don't know. Yeah, worst record in like 4-12 last year.
Yeah.
And they came all the way back and just absolutely killed it this year. Went 10-6, made it all the way to the Super Bowl. We're within one drive of 5 of not sucking at the end to actually win something. But it was a great time, and I agree. Matthew Stafford's great. I'm happy for him. It's about all I want to see of him, though. He got his championship. He kind of move on and not win again. It's time for the Patriots and Mac Jones. That's the personal one thing. non-biased whatsoever.
I mean, I also say, like, with the Super Bowl, this is like the first one I feel like there were no enemies in the Super Bowl. Like, I didn't really hate anybody, because, like, last year people who hated Tom Brady, yeah, they were, they wanted him to lose, or they hated, like, me. I hate the Chiefs. I don't hate Patrick Mahomes as a person. I just don't like the Chiefs. But this is the first Super Bowl. It's like, anyone could win, but I'm fully convinced that the Bengals lost that game at the halftime show, because you cannot have a celebration of Los Angeles like that without, winning the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know. I feel like after that Super Bowl, after that halftime show, it's like, oh, the Rams are going to win this for sure. Also, that offensive line is terrible. I don't know. It's great that they made a Super Bowl. I'm so happy for them. But, like, when you go up against, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Michael Floyd, I think, Pro Football Focus ranked them the highest pass rush in the league. So if you're going up against them, it's like, yeah, you don't stand a chance. They had, like, 3 offensive linemen on Aaron Donald. And I love me Cooper Kupp. Kyle, thanks for giving me Cooper Kupp in fantasy. I appreciate that. Fun fact, everybody, Kyle gave me Cooper Kupp before the season started. He was great for me. I didn't win, but he was great for most of it.
I still beat him.
Mm-hmm. I managed to finish with Joe Burrow on my team, so that was a nice end to my season.
Mm-hmm.
You can thank me indirectly for giving him to Kyle, and Kyle giving him to you.
Yeah. So the end, it's
welcome
Austin's
for sucking at fantasy, guys. You're welcome.
You will all be able to experience Kyle's pain as we go through next fantasy season.
Oh, we're doing reviews.
Weekly
Reviews. Weekly transactional reviews. Weekly team setup reviews. We are roasting everyone. And mostly
not only will you
Kyle.
experience me losing in fantasy, you're going to experience me losing with all my sports teams, because New York sports teams just suck in general. So I'm not prepared. It's going to be... It's going to be a rough year. It's going to be a rough year.
It's going to be a rough decade.
If only it was 2007 or 2011, then you'd be fine. But whoops, that was like a half a century ago.
You don't mention those things around here, Steve.
I'm sorry.
Your math is a little
I started
off.
lighting on
Your
fire.
math is a little off.
Any thoughts, Justin, Andrew, on the Super Bowl?
Go, Andrew.
For the most part, I enjoyed it. Very entertaining, very well played out by both teams in the first half. The Bengals really stopped Aaron Donald in the first half, but then it was just second half, just nowhere to be found, that offensive line. Also, just like referees not calling any plays and throwing any flags out there. There were some big time calls that were missed. 4th and 1, Aaron Donald lining up off sides. Pass interference calls that should have been called, or some that shouldn't have been called.
The face mask.
Really, yeah. There's just so many plays that were calls that should have been called out there. But it's just they just let them play the game out.
Pretty much what I was gonna go over as well. Also going off like with the penalties, Kyle's always fun with like sharing NFL memes, and it was cool like thinking, what if the refs actually get penalized for not calling certain things?
Yeah.
I
There
mean,
are just some terrible missed calls that really would have swayed the rest of that game. Like, the biggest one is that face mask. Like, if that got called, do the Bengals even have a chance? Because
Right, they did. They had
swayed-
5
so, like,
drives. 5 drives. They had a chance.
Listen,
yeah, but how many of those
PI,
drives resulted in a score?
that PI call on Logan Wilson was awful.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Yeah,
honestly,
but I mean, in the end, P. Ryan should have dove for the ball at least. I mean, come on, that landed like what 2 feet from him.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get
Like-
a hand on that? I think he even got
No.
a hand on that.
No, he
even get a
didn't.
hand on that?
No, he didn't even move for it. He was like,
Nope.
oh no, Super Bowl.
oh, yeah, who cares? I'll never
like
be back here.
it's 1 yard. Dive and get the ball.
It's a Super
Your
Bowl. Like,
quarterback
put your
is-
body on the line.
Oh my god. I mean, but I give it more on Zach Taylor. I mean, second half, going back from the end of the first or the last drive of this first half for the Bengals, where they got 3, right? They got a field goal, and Donald sacks Joe Burrow, right? So that made him get the field goal. That was the first of 22 consecutive dropbacks from that point to the end of the Super Bowl. He got sacked 7 times, all of them. 7
Gross.
times in 22.
Gross.
Zach
gross,
Taylor.
gross.
And he didn't run the ball like at all the entire time with that. He should have been running the ball a couple times so that Aaron Donald he can't pin his ears back, right? He can't just go after him. But now you were letting Donald and Von Miller and the rest of the D-line just say, well, all you're going to do is throw it, and we know you can't stop us, so we're just going to go for it. So they were just sending forward like the entire time and still winning. Like, if you run the ball a
I
few
don't know
times...
how they don't run the ball there. You have one of the best running backs in the league in Joe Mixon right now, and you don't even attempt it. I just don't know what Zach Taylor was thinking. I really don't.
Honestly, he pulled McVay. He did the same thing McVay did against us in 2019, where McVay just didn't run the ball the entire second half.
Yep. He
I
fell
think
into the
that's
same
fair.
trap. He fell into the same trap that if you don't remember, so the Buffalo Bills, they were like, despite them being so crazy in the playoffs, like they only were like what 10-7, 11-6. So, and that was because they were into the same issue where they weren't throwing the ball to the point that I remember Colin Cowherd talked about a lot of the games they played where, you know, it's almost like a disrespectful defensive plan because like we're just going to run at you because we know you're only going to do one thing. We know that, and we have so much confidence in the guys in the back that, you know, we can blitz. We can run at you with 5-6 guys, just do some man coverage, or even, you know, just rush with 4. I mean, they could just rush with 3 guys and you could still get pressure. So when you don't commit to the run, you don't get a little bit of space. And so, like, I saw them, like, play action pass on one of the plays. I'm like, there's no point. Like, they're not going to be fooled because you're not going to run the ball. So even though everyone loves the pass in this league, like, getting a running game is so much more important than, like, I think people honestly realize. Because when you just throw and you can get pressure on the quarterback, like, you're set for failure and, well, it cost them a Super Bowl.
I mean, we've seen it. Defense win championships, but so does having a good run game.
Run game opens up everything else, and that's the biggest breakdown. I will. The coolest part about one stat I saw before we move on was the last, was it 12 or 17 Super Bowls? Their running backs. There was only one running back that made more than $2 million on the team. That is ridiculous. Like, that the average salary of a running back for a Super Bowl winning team was less than $1 million. So that's gross.
More about
So-
the line than it is the running back, honestly.
It's
Not taken
exactly-
away from like the best running backs out there, but like we've seen them all go to different teams and just suck because they don't have a good enough line.
Hey, like Garrett Blunt won 2 in a row. That's all I'll say. So,
And
so
had
move
what,
on to the
like,
next part.
20 touchdowns or something in one
It
season.
was something gross. The dude's literally
17.
400 pounds of weight.
Yeah, okay.
The dude's literally. So, moving on to the next part, we'll just go in order. We'll just do score. Like, who are the 2 teams? Throw a score out there. The way too early Super Bowl predictions. Go ahead.
Bengals and Eagles out there. I feel like if they first round picks this year, you make some more better choices, adding some more stronger DBs, a couple more better receivers to help Jalen Hurts out there. I think they could really turn it around. I think that score will end up probably being like 23 Bengals to 20 Eagles.
Okay, go Austin. Yeah,
Go
come on,
Austin
get
in the
through it,
mouth.
get
I love
through it.
pizza, and
Yeah,
I'm too lazy to cut it. So for any of those that are annoyed with the fact that I don't cut my pizza, I'm just lazy.
we go for it.
Oh, I just looked at Twitter.
sorry,
Austin's
Andrew.
getting canceled
I'm
for that.
Andrew, I'm sorry to be bursting out laughing during these things.
Okay, wait, Andrew, want to repeat your score again? Because I totally got spaced out.
Bengals 23, Eagles 20.
Okay, bet. Nice. Let's go.
All right, let's see. I mean, I think the Pats can make a good run at it. Not just saying that because I am a Pats fan. I think legitimately we have a good base already there. I think Mac Jones is just going to progress, and they'll actually start opening up the offense for him. I mean, we're going to have to see how we do. And if we can get some better receivers, we really need that number one for him. Maybe some extra speed. It still pains me that we took N'Keal Harry over like Deebo Samuel or DK Metcalf or so many others in that draft. But whatever. I just think we have a good shot. So I think it'll be hard. I'm not sure. I think we could get to the AFC this year, AFC Championship. I honestly think that's where we're going to get to. I just don't think we're going to get to that Super Bowl this year. So I'm going to go, if the Bengals do a good job of getting him a good line, I think they could make a run back there. But I honestly think the Chiefs are going to come back reloaded. And I think Mahomes is going to really focus a lot more this year on himself and his craft and make sure that he's leading the team again like he has been the last few years, not this year. So I think it's Chiefs, and honestly, if the Rams run it back, it might be the Rams again. So I'm going to say it's probably Rams, Chiefs.
I got my friend Junie with me. Sorry, guys. All right. Interesting stat. I'm pretty sure the only team to get back to a Super Bowl after losing it was the Patriots a few years ago, and that's in like the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Since the Bills, it's been like one team, and I think it was the Patriots. So the Bengals aren't going back to the Super Bowl. It isn't going to happen. They can make a run, but they're not going back to the Super Bowl. I've got Patriots 27, Rams 23. The Rams will run it back, but they're going to run into Bill Belichick again.
Go for it, Justin.
I was kind of on the same end with the Rams. I feel like with the Patrick Mahomes thing, because he's not wanting his girlfriend to go to the game, I don't know if that's a whole thing, like, just a speculation, or if it's actually going to work out. But I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. So, 3 years of the Rams would be interesting, too. Score specifically, I am not 100% on that, though.
Man, every ounce of me wants to say the Giants are going to the Super Bowl, but I just know that's not true. So
You can't.
I know that's not true. So
You literally told me 5-12 was their record.
I know. I'm just a hopeful fan, but realistically, I do think that we're going to see a surprise team go to the Super Bowl. I don't think that team's going to be the one to win it, but I do think it's going to be Colts versus the 49ers in the Super Bowl, with Kyle Shanahan leading whoever that quarterback is to a Super Bowl victory. I do think it's going to be a very close game, more defensive. I think it's going to be about 21-17, that final, with 49ers winning.
All right, quickly, Kyle, who's the Colts quarterback then?
But I still think it's going to be Carson Wentz. I think they're going to ride with him for one more year. Just because he has at least the ability to lead a team, he also has a star running back. As you said earlier, you need a running game to be able to go far in the playoffs. He has the number one running back in the league in Jonathan Taylor. So I think that Carson Wentz can at least manage a team, but I don't think they're going to be the ones to win it.
I think the dark horse is the Titans, but
Yeah, I was gonna
No,
say
that's
you're
fair.
saying the same. You're saying the same thing that like the Colts are basically like the Titans. They have a star running back. It's just
The difference
Taylor,
is
Henry, I'm taking Henry.
the difference
Yeah.
is though I think the Colts have better wide receivers than the Titans do.
AJ Brown. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Julio
okay.
Jones?
Don't mention Julio.
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones is
Excuse me?
no.
A bit old and he's broken, but if he's healthy, yeah.
Healthy.
Yeah, we're all
Jacoby
kinda
Hollister, practice squad. Come on.
Okay. Steve, you go. I'm still thinking. Go.
All right. Well, see, my pick is kind of determined of like how I think the offseason is gonna go. Patriots get a number one wide receiver like Antonio Brown. I'm just kidding. Like, I think we should. I mean, if we could cough up money for Devontae Adams, I would be so happy. But I think honestly, I think we should pick up if we pick up like a number one wide receiver. I'm thinking a very tooth and nail clawing Patriots team is going to make it to the Super Bowl, and I feel like 49ers, I think I'm going to make a run for a quarterback. Take Jimmy G and a couple of draft picks, and honestly go all in on like Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, and Aaron Rodgers goes to Super Bowl, he's going to get overhyped as per usual, and then Belichick's going to put him in his place. So I'm thinking Patriots, 49ers, Super Bowl, and I'm going to say the Patriots are going to win. I'm going to say for this team, 21-17 Patriots.
I know, I'm gonna think with my head and not my heart here. So we're gonna be logical about it. So my
Dallas
AFC
Cowboys.
No, AFC team 100% the Bills. I think Josh Allen finally gets over the hump, and so he can finally get over that since he lost to him 3 years in a row. I think it's gross. I think he finally gets over the hump. I do think the Patriots lose the divisional round to the Bills. I think they don't get perfect at game again, but I do think they lose the divisional round to the Bills. So I think Bills in the AFC. The NFC is so hard. I really wanted to pick the Bucks because Jimmy G's from the Bucks. Like that team would be decent. I can't see it. I can't see it. It's really hurting my brain. I think the 49ers pick is good, and I think Trey Lance is going to be awful to start the year, and then by the end of the year they're going to be 10-6 like a Bengals team, and then just be super dynamic. So I'm going to go Bills, 49ers, and the Bills are definitely going to win. I actually think it's going to be like a 31-17. Like it's going to be a little bit of a distance, simply because the Bills defense stacks up to the 49ers offense. But even with Trey Lance, Josh Allen is literally top 3, top 5. So that's not what Trey Lance is yet. But I think it's like a 31-17 Bills over the 49ers. That would be my guess. So I think it's a really hard. Obviously, it's way too early. We don't know what's going to happen. Aaron Rodgers was supposed to say something today, decided not to. So we're just going to hate him a little bit more in Patriots Nation.
Just
Such a
retire.
rat.
Just retire.
He's not retiring. I guarantee you on
He's
everything.
got 2 years. He's got 2 years.
So
left.
sick of it.
I honestly, if he goes to Denver, which I don't think is going to happen, if he does go to Denver, I'm 100% picking Denver, and I'm 100% thinking the Packers go like 4-13 or something stupid.
You really
like,
think Denver will have a chance, though?
yes.
I really think
They
so?
have
I 'cause I
disgusting
don't.
receivers. Disgusting
Who?
receivers with Aaron Rodgers. Don't tell me you
Who?
know who Jerry Judy is, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick. Do you not know who these people are? Tim Patrick is a
Also,
No,
if he
no, he's
goes,
a good
wherever
tight
he
end.
goes, he's going with Devontae. Like Devontae's
Yes.
going with him wherever he goes, so he's taking
No,
Devontae.
Devontae's
there.
going to Vegas. No,
No, he's
Devontae's
not.
No, he's
No.
not. I know
No,
what
he's not.
Derek.
Also,
Bro,
you forgot.
Going
Hold on
to
a minute.
play
You
yard.
forgot someone you're rattling off receivers. Noah Fant, top 10
Yeah.
tight end in the league.
No
He's
offense,
not a
really good.
receiver as a tight end.
Okay,
so that's
I
fake.
will say, Judy and Fant have proved themselves, but the rest of that wide receiving core has really
You
not.
didn't watch Cortland
Orlando
Sutton or
was
Tim
hurt
Patrick.
last week.
Yeah,
last
and
year.
then
I mean,
Tim
the
Patrick
year
was a
before, he
peak
was
yard.
insane.
Ah,
Okay.
Ooh,
Anyways,
love this
we're
testosterone.
moving on. We're gonna pull up the rest of the agenda. We're gonna pull up the rest of the agenda for today here and take a look at what else we'll be talking about. Next up, we got the MLB Lockout. We're gonna pull up the NBA 75 list, and after that, talk a little about the Olympic stuff that's been going on or lack thereof, and then lastly, probably one of the most exciting things is that XFL integration to the NFL. So
And a quick word from our sponsor,
there's
Uh,
yeah, the Bud Light Seltzers.
Bud
amazing.
Light Seltzer.
That-
Actually, it's the hard soda.
That
Let's
would
all
be
talk
good.
about it.
How is the hard
Okay.
soda?
Oh,
which one?
okay.
So,
We're moving on.
Bud Light, if you see this,
Fair.
yeah,
fair.
reach out to us.
Big facts. Big fact. Those hard sodas hit hard. So
They do.
Yeah,
There's
those
some
sodas
flavor.
are
There's
fire.
some flavor.
Those are
My
dangerous.
favorite's
though.
orange. Not gonna lie.
Oh, that okay.
No, that lemon lime one. Oh, that lemon lime one.
That hits different too. I really don't like the cola. I'm gonna be honest.
I mix the cola and the orange. It's a good mixture. It's good.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
weird.
yeah,
No,
we're skipping
yeah.
that. MLB Lockout.
Yes.
So, most recently, there has been much news on it since the most recent information that came out with their most recent paper, which essentially meant that they were going to cut thousands of jobs out of the leagues in order to compensate for these inflated salaries or not leagues. So, that's garbage. So, does anyone want to kind of take over and talk a little about why it's a bad idea for them to cut thousands of jobs for no reason? Or,
So
I
whose
think-
salaries are they trying to compensate for?
the MLB
Star
salaries,
athletes. The
star athletes.
Yeah, they're trying to take the little guys and give it to the big guys.
Okay, so first, even the best AAA players get paid like $30,000 a year. So
Gross.
I don't know who they're helping in the MLB that's trying to make like hundreds of millions
Their
of
own
dollars by
pocket.
cutting $30,000. Also, the fact that minor league players only make $30,000 is kind of nuts, considering they live like a college student and they're older than us, but they play a professional sport.
And they
Yeah.
travel.
People pay to go to these games constantly. They pay for their own travel too, I think, but I'm not sure.
They do. Yeah, they have to pay for their own travel. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's crazy.
That's
It's-
awful.
I just don't know where this lockout is going. Like I genuinely think we're gonna have a whole summer without baseball. Like, I just don't
I
think
hope
there's
so.
gonna be. I don't think there's gonna be any sort of agreement between the players and the owners. It's just gonna have no agreed outcome, and which really stinks because you can't have a summer without baseball. It's just not gonna feel the same.
Nah, I don't feel
But
fine.
that's where it seems like it's going. Like they just keep postponing spring training back. They're eventually going to postpone the regular season, and who knows if they'll ever get started realistically.
I can't wait
I mean,
till
what
the
are-
Yankees lose all their players. It's really- that's
Don't
really-
remind
I mean,
me.
what are the kind of jobs that are going to be cut? Is it like stadium staff? Are we talking
Yeah.
like facility staff,
Everything.
that kind of stuff?
everything. Like the funding that the MLB does, the MLBPA does to compensate for revenue is gonna be cut.
That
If I'm not mistaken, they're cutting umpire staff too, aren't they?
There's a
Like
lot.
limiting
It's
amount of umpires they're cutting,
awful.
which means robotic umpires, which just takes out the fun of the terrible calls that reps make every single day. So I'm not looking forward to there being accurate balls and strikes. Like that's no fun. I want these outrageous strike calls that are really a ball to be called. Like I don't want I don't want a robot calling balls and strikes.
I don't want
That's
it
just
perfect.
No fun. No,
Yeah,
it's just not fun. Like it would be the same thing as like in the NFL where they call every single right penalty or every single wrong penalty. Like it just would take the fun out of the sport. That's what the referees are people, right? So them not calling fouls or calling fouls, like you got to have that in the sport, right?
Yeah. We all like it when it goes for our team, and when it doesn't go for us,
Exactly.
we hate it. But that's part of the sport.
Exactly.
I think also I don't know why they think the idea of cutting. I mean, this sounds like a lot of like support staffs getting cut. So it's hard to think other than just selfish profit or the bottom line or whatever that they're trying to maintain because it's stuff is going to hit the fan when you have all the support staff gone. I mean, they're jobs for a reason. Like they're important. They have a purpose to them. And so you're going to be cutting all that, and it's either way they're going to lose because they're going to find out that there's less people to do work for them. I mean, it could fall apart from behind the scenes, and then they're also losing now because nobody wants. There could be protests, no one's going to be watching, or the lockdown, and they're going to lose even more money without baseball being played. It's just a dumb decision all around that it just kind of goes to show how little they care about anything other than just. No,
money for a dying league. So I think we all agree that it's kind of BS, and hopefully they'll have to come up with something different because there's just no way even the public outcry can be too big.
Nick, you stole it right out of my mouth. I was gonna say if you want to make money, put a better product on the field.
Yeah,
They're gonna
I don't
have to, right? Like
Start
moving on. So
We're gonna cut
going
that.
to the.
There'll be a season this year. There'll be because this is.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't
so
think
first off,
so.
this is
Really
the
don't.
9th stoppage that's ever happened in the history of the league, and it's the fourth lockout. And they've never missed a season because of it. The only thing
Yeah,
that's
they
happened
did.
was in '94. It happened in the middle of the season. It cost them the postseason, but they've actually never missed starting a season because of a lockout. It's never happened.
It's happening.
I think this is the first.
I don't think it
More,
is.
more picky.
They've been missed. The players and the MLBPA and the owners have been meeting for the last a couple of days consecutively, talking over stuff. So we'll see what happens. The whole reason it ended up happening anyways isn't just as much because of like some of the things we've talked about. It's because the collective bargaining agreement for 2016 ended. That's the whole reason. If like there was another year with it, it wouldn't have happened this year. So I think they're gonna figure out a way through it. I think they're gonna find something because in the end, if they don't play, the owners lose more money anyways. So like,
Yeah, they'll have to give it up. They'll have to give
at
up.
some point they're gonna give up because they have to make the money, and the only way they can make the money is, with the TV deals is if they actually have product to put on the TV, and the only way they can get ticket sales is if they have a product to put on the field. So either way, the owners are gonna give in at some point, and it's gonna come back to the field. But I agree with you that I wouldn't say it's dying because I really don't think it is. I know tons of kids that are still into baseball. People still love baseball. It's the summer classic, is the All-Star game, all that stuff. And like, it's just
Don't
like,
get me started on how bad the All-Star game is.
Okay,
Don't even
but
get me
like,
started.
in the end, like, it's still the thing that like I look forward to the home run derby in the middle of summer. Like, they still have captivated audiences because there isn't anything else going on in the summer unless you have like every 4 years you have the Olympics or like the World Cup. So for the most part, it's still in the perfect time for itself. So I don't think it's dying, but they do have to do a better job with like speeding up the game and making it more fun to watch, like letting the players celebrate. Like, I don't care, like all the unwritten stupid rules of baseball that we grew up knowing, they need to let those go and just stick to the actual written rules and let the young players like Tatis and Judge and others like that are
Launch
being
that
stars
ball.
in this game. Let them launch it and let them
Wait, you know.
celebrate. Let them
Hit
flip
it.
that bat. I want to see a bat flip. I want to see a point. And honestly, I like MLB when there are fights. I'm not gonna lie, it's like hockey. I love it. Let it play. Just let the dudes do it. So, anyways, but
Yeah, and on that subject of money, I actually figured I'd bring this up a little something. The other ones will be a little quicker. After this year, next year, the NFL salary cap goes up almost $100 million. So it's like
$100
$80
million
million.
extra.
Yes, on
Oh
top of what it
my
already is,
God.
$80 to $100 million. So teams like the Saints, who were down $60 million over the cap at the end of last year, something gross. Like, they're all going to be saved, and even teams like the Patriots, who spent all their money, who have $8 million in cap this year, are going to have roughly $100 million in cap this year. It's going to be gross. People are going to get paid. So franchise tag J.C. Jackson, get him to stay long term, and other people like who else are you paying? J.C. Jackson.
Signed
Who else?
Myers. We signed Myers.
Yeah, resign him for what? 3 years, $12 million. It's Jacoby
he's
Myers.
not getting that much. Yeah, he's not getting
No,
that
he's
much.
not.
No, he's not. But
It's
like,
not.
you still
It's
gotta
not
resign
JC.
that dude.
JC Jackson gets 22. He should get 22, like, at least. Like,
It's only going to be good for a couple years though, because as soon as we get through like the contracts that people have now, all of a sudden it's just going to hit the cap again. Like,
that's
right
fine.
away.
We gotta take advantage.
Oh no, I agree with you. I'm just saying like it sucks that like we can take advantage right now, but in a few years it's just gonna be like everybody's
That's
just gonna be
okay.
getting bigger bags. But
Those-
I mean, good
hey.
to them, I guess.
Those TV deals. Okay. Touching on the next subject, we'll talk a little bit about it. I don't know if there has any gross, big opinions on it. So the NBA top 75. So this list was released yesterday or 2 days ago.
I think.
I have it on the
I think
screen.
it was 2 days ago.
I'll be honest, there are certain names from nowadays that I don't think should be anywhere near this list. Maybe I'm slightly biased.
Like who?
I do not think James Harden should be anywhere near this list.
Agree.
I don't think Anthony Davis should be anywhere near this list. I think
Why is he on the list?
Has Anthony Davis even come close to finishing a regular season? Has
ever?
he
I
even
don't
come
think so.
close? Like ever? Like has he like? I think I was looking this up. He only has like 2 seasons where it's over 70 games played.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that a fair name on here simply because of record-wise is Russell. I really do think Russell, because of his triple-double, stuff like that, in a completely fair spot to be on this list. But god damn, dude, some of these names on here really piss me off. I'm fine with Kevin Durant. Like, the dude won 2 championships with the Warriors, and he's just nasty. But some of these other names, man.
I mean, all right. If you're saying like Anthony Davis, right? Who are you putting ahead of him? Like who's going outside of the top 75, and or he's going outside, but who are you putting inside the top 75?
I'd want to see who's 76 to 100. I don't have the rest.
Yeah.
I would want to see who is in front of them, or behind them rather, because there's got to be people that have more legacy, right?
Klay Thompson will be put on the top 75 list.
I don't think Clay should be on this list. I think Clay should be on this list more than Anthony Davis.
Like that's saying the same thing as like a lot of them though. Like there's a lot on this list that currently playing that shouldn't be on this list. Like I agree.
Like who, Andrew? Like who else would you remove from this list?
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul's a legend. He's gonna break the assist record. Dude. He's nasty.
Explain your reasoning. Explain your reasoning. Let me hear why you think.
He's just been tossed around in the league. He finally finds a team that he's able to sit around with the Suns. He played for the Clippers. Played for the Thunder. Finally settles down with the Suns. He's got Devin Booker. That team has been going off this season. Looking like the hottest team right now in the West to make it to the conference finals. I honestly gotta believe that he's a key factor, but he's not the biggest key factor on that team.
All right, I'm gonna respond.
Career averaging of over 18 points per game on average.
I mean,
I'm gonna respond to this, boys. I'm gonna respond to this. First, the Chris Paul thing. I got 2 points. Chris Paul has been incredible since he got into the league. He came in with the Charlotte Hornets back when they were the Charlotte Hornets. Then they moved to New Orleans. Went over to the Clippers, went over to the Thunder, went over to the Rockets, and is now in Phoenix. Does anybody remember where Phoenix was before Chris Paul got there?
Like in terms of awfulness, not good. Not even close. Playoff. Like one of the worst teams of all time.
The minute Chris Paul got into Phoenix, they were a playoff team and a playoff contender. So don't.
And an NBA finalist.
And an NBA Finals appearance. Don't discredit Chris Paul.
Which, if he doesn't get hurt, they probably win.
It's close.
Second, I saw the actual rankings for this. They had Kobe Bryant at 10.
I think he was lower than that. No, it was Steph Curry
10.
that was lower. It was Steph Curry that was lower than that, and I was like, what are they doing?
Like, I don't know. If you're starting an NBA greatness list, it starts with Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe, and you can go from there, but how do you have Kobe at 10?
No, I think Kareem is fair place.
No, I think Kobe at 10 makes more sense when you bring up these players, but it's not a disrespectful 10. It's like a 1, or like a 2C or 2D. Like, it's not like he's like really 10.
I mean, they had Tim Duncan at 7 and Shaq at 11. I don't know, man.
Shaq should be 7 and Tim Duncan should be 11. But that's a whole other issue. I don't know. That's it's interesting. I don't know. I understand. Like James Harden is. There's a few newer players. I'm fine with some. Like Steph Curry already has the 3-point record. He's only been playing for 10, 11 seasons, maybe 12. Like he still has another 3-4 plus years. LeBron James playing until he gets to play with LeBron James Jr. like Bronny, that's dope. I'm super hyped.
I'm excited. I don't care what team he goes to. I don't care who he plays with, as long as he gets to be with his son, and that's just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I love seeing father-son combos playing on the same team, and that's just so much. It's so entertaining to watch.
We should quickly debate the top 10. I have the list right here.
Okay,
but first, before we do that, you guys were talking about Anthony Davis. Dame Lillard was 75th, and Anthony Davis was 71st. So, do you think Dame should be higher on that? Do you think he should be on the list?
He has one of the best shots of all time, where he literally sent home. What was it? The Rockets or was it Thunder? I don't remember.
It was
literally
did both.
One of the craziest shots of all time, dude. He turns around. He's like, "Oh, what's up? Like, what are you gonna do?" Like,
yeah, but I mean, you can't do it off one shot, obviously.
I mean,
one
all right,
shot
so
can make your career, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a great shot, but you got to talk about his career. I'm not saying his career is bad. It's a good career, and I think he should, I guess, be in the top 75. I mean, we're also biased a little because we never saw the guys from like the early days of the NBA, but I don't think it's wrong for him to be 75th necessarily. Again, I don't know a lot of the guys, or I didn't see a lot of the guys play that are on this list, but I don't think Anthony Davis is in the wrong spot either necessarily.
I don't think Anthony Davis should be there. I don't think he's done enough in his career to qualify for this.
You said Davis?
Yeah.
He's got a championship. There's a lot of guys on here that don't have a championship. I'm not saying that.
But was
That
he a
means
key
everything.
factor of that
Carried
championship?
by LeBron.
Yeah,
Yes, a
without
little
him on
bit,
that, he
but-
doesn't win that one.
Oh, I agree, but it's still LeBron.
Yeah, but like, look, LeBron. Now, I'd say it's more on Anthony Davis last year that they didn't keep going. They definitely, I think, should have gone back to the finals last year if Davis was like, he just needs to man up and play the 5. But whatever, that's a whole nother topic. But let's get to the top 10. How about that? So we don't keep belaboring that one. All right,
I'm curious, who's ranked higher, Larry Bird or Magic Johnson?
Magic
Magic.
Johnson.
I think Magic's like
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
Magic
Magic
is
was-
4.
Magic was
Bird
4,
was-
Bird was
Bird
7.
7. So
was
the top
Bird?
10 goes Kobe at 10, Oscar
7.
Robinson at 9. Tim Duncan at 8, Larry Bird 7, Bill Russell 6, Wilt Chamberlain 5, Magic 4, Kareem 3, and then it's LeBron 2 and Mike 1.
I love it.
So-
To
I
be
think
honest,
that top 5. I
other
think
than
that top
Tim
5 is
Duncan,
great.
and Tim Duncan and Shaq should 100% switch, but
You think
I
Shaq is
honestly
better than
don't
Kobe?
hate it. No, I
You
think
really
Shaq
rank
is
Shaq-
better than Tim Duncan.
Shaq's
Yes,
11
I get
outside
that,
Kobe.
But,
So.
but if you're moving Shaq into the top 10, that means you have to move Kobe up into the top 10. And I don't.
Kobe
Yeah.
is in the top 10. He's number 10.
Oh, yeah.
No, I know, but I'm saying if you're moving Shaq up,
We're
you have to move the other
100%
2 up.
biased, but rest in peace.
I think, yeah, I think it's a pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good top 10. It's hard to move guys around, but I do think Kobe should probably be a little higher. Honestly, I think Robertson should be. Honestly, I think he could stay where he is, but I think Kobe should move up. I'm fine with Tim Duncan going 10. Like I don't have a problem with that. I think Tim Duncan should be ahead of Shaq though. As dominant as Shaq was, I just think Tim Duncan was physically not as dominant, but
Career-wise,
everything.
he
Career-wise,
started
he's-
at the beginning, ended it. Like, I guess you're right. Like,
So it's hard to say. I mean, yes, he had Pop, but I mean, Shaq had.
Phil Jackson.
Thank you. So they both had all Hall of Fame coaches. So Bill Russell at 6, I'm totally fine with. Like, I don't think he
Yeah.
can go in top 5 just because he played at a time that he should have been that good.
yeah.
Hold on a
But-
minute.
What are you trying
Dominated
to say,
for
Austin?
a decade and a half.
Yeah,
He really did. But a decade and a half when basketball wasn't basketball.
right. Like,
Basketball was
come on.
football and hoop.
No
Football
3-point.
and
No
basket-
like.
Yeah.
They had to go in the paint. You couldn't do anything. So like he's just standing there blocking shots. And unfortunately for him, like it's still a time with like segregation and stuff. So there were like I don't want to sound bad like saying like because there was a lot of white guys. Like I'm not saying that's the reason. But, like, but I'm saying like
Yeah, we're getting into
Like,
race in our first
I'm
episode.
not trying
This
to
is
like,
gonna
make
be
it
fun.
that. I'm not trying to make it that. But like you said, it was just a totally different type of basketball at that point. So
Yeah.
anyways, but he was phenomenal, and I think he would own today as well. But then you have Wilt at 5. I think Wilt. It's hard. Wilt's
That's a
one
good
of my
spot.
all-time favorites.
No, I think he's.
I think you can move maybe with Johnson. I think maybe Magic could be 5, but other than that, I don't
Nah,
think he would be
Magic's
higher.
the best. Magic is, in my opinion, the best point guard of all time, and I don't think it's so.
Like I said, I'm
so-
still fine with it, but I think you could switch them.
Yeah.
So top 3, guys. Top 3. What do you think? Any movement, or do you think it's perfect?
No, 100%
I'm
perfect.
Good.
I'm moving Kobe up to 3 and moving everybody else back 1.
Oh,
If you're gonna talk about the NBA, it's Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, everybody else.
I just
okay,
think Wilt's
Kareem
better.
is also everyone. Like over.
You can't
Yeah.
kick out Kareem. Like Kareem.
I think
deserves be
Kareem
in
has
that
to.
top
I
3.
honestly, I'm sorry, I love Mike, but I think Kareem should be number 1 until he gets passed. Like,
Very soon.
You mean the
Very-
squad
it will be
title?
soon.
Really?
but
Kareem.
you still the all-time leading scorer, and he won. How many did he win?
A lot.
He had 6 MVPs. He had 2 Finals MVPs. He had 6
He only-
Wait,
He only
yeah,
won
he had
2
6
titles.
championships. No, it says he has 6.
Oh,
His
did he win
resume
6?
stands
Alright.
time with 6 championships. So
What's
he has the
LeBron at
same
now,
as
4?
Jordan. Yeah, LeBron's at 4. Mike's at 6. Obviously, he went 6 for 6, which is the. I'm sorry, but the biggest reason Mike still is where he is because he went 6 for 6, and because we grew up with the Michael Jordan
Aftermath.
What's the right word? Like
He
the,
globalized the game of
legendary
basketball.
stat. Right. So he helped globalize. I won't take that away from him, but it's because of his shoes. Like if you don't have those shoes, if his shoes didn't become what they were, I don't think he's at the same level, to be honest. Because like he won 6 championships and that was
His
great. He
brand.
was a. That's what I'm saying. His brand took him to a totally different level. That like.
So are you saying that he's only number one because of his brand? That his stats have nothing to do with him?
No, I'm not saying it's only because of that, but I'm saying like think about the way everybody like fantasizes Michael Jordan, especially like before LeBron became where he is now, right? Like now we're having that debate of like should it be LeBron, should it be should it be Michael? And then but like when I was a younger kid and like watching Space Jam and stuff, like all you could think about was Michael Jordan. You wanted the shoes, you wanted to be in Space Jam, you wanted to be like the commercial Be Like Mike, right? He was across everything. On everything, cereal, like LeBron's tried to be that, but honestly, in this generation, or at least for our generation, I should say, like the new generation, if you go talk to young kids, they only talk about LeBron because that's all they've watched.
And
right?
Steph Curry. And Steph
And
Curry.
Steph, right? Even Steph's making a run for
Yeah, he is.
LeBron, but like for
I don't
us,
think
the ones
Steph
who
comes close to being top 10 though.
no, I don't. I agree with you. Not
Not
now.
yet.
It depends on what happens.
Not
but
Not
Yes.
even. Nah.
But I think what I'm saying is like for us who grew up right at the end of Michael Jordan and we're there in what like you said the aftermath to like watching LeBron literally grow up with us. Like I'm saying I think a big portion of why so many analysts still see Mike as being number one like unanimously in a lot of ways is because of the fact that he had that brand that just immortalized him in everybody's minds before LeBron got here. I think if you put the two of them together and they both have the exact same careers they have now, but in the same time frame together, I think maybe it's different because they're competing at the same time. So the immortalization of both of them would take away from the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean honestly, let's just be honest. There's only one true GOAT, and it's Tom Brady. So we can definitely just move. I mean, Tom Brady, kid. We'll move on from that. That's honestly an everlasting debate, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yep.
There's really no right or wrong to it either. There's always generational bias. So in any sport, other than football, because Tom Brady. So the Olympics. We don't talk about this a lot because nobody else did. So what the like? Oh man, what really tortured me, and I talked about this earlier with you guys, was as soon as I saw that a ski slope, the Big Air ski slope, was in the middle of a nuclear field. That completely ruined it for me. What is that? Like,
I don't know what. I think it was just obviously poor placement, right? But like, the thing that I was really shocked about is how nice the 2008 Summer Olympics was when they were in China, and this was just like not even close to the same level. Like, I don't know what it's. It's really hard to make a Winter Olympics look good in China because China is not a winter country.
I think they have the same climate as like the Northeast does.
Nah, they're super temperate.
Roughly, right?
They had to. All the snow they had was man-made.
Right, but I mean, like
And
we'd
that's
had it
super.
in like some parts of New York, you would have had to do the same thing. So,
Right, but
or
yeah,
Boston.
okay. I guess that's fair.
Honestly, the only thing I have to say about the Olympics is that they had a record low TV rating, and I think it speaks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Without going into it, I agree with you. I think it does.
People have been talking about
I
like the
was
food
really
this year as well.
What was that, Justin?
People have been talking about like the food this year and what they have and haven't been
yeah.
like served.
Yeah, athletes said they were terrible conditions. Terrible. Like they said the housing was terrible, food was terrible, they weren't treated right.
Yeah, and I think that's unfortunate too because like when you think about the Olympics, the purpose of it is a celebration of talent from all over the world, and I think there's a lot of distraction. I think so. Part of it is the actual treatment of. I mean, there's a lot of social justice kind of going around, or mistreatment of people, or underpaid athletes. That's a huge issue, and
Okay.
I think Olympic Committee is kind of hoping, we'll just push that to the side, just focus on the game. The competition will be big enough that it'll ignore all the very clear flaws that we have. But I think also there's kind of a tension behind everything because we're so filled with our heads with COVID, a potential invasion of Ukraine that may have started today. You know, there's a lot of tension. I don't know. I think that we're all too distracted with everything going on to really be invested in the Olympics. And it's like I could care less what happens to the Olympics. The only time I really care about the Olympics, I was at a Boy Scout camp, and we were talking about what are you doing, Nick?
Is that logo? Did they paint?
Yes,
the
I'm
logo?
looking at
on
it.
the full hour.
Painted the logo on
the nuclear on the Oh my
Okay.
god!
Click
Enough
on the
like,
little stream, but it'll
not-
show you.
I don't
Awful.
want to take away from like the athletes because the athletes did an amazing job. Like, I do want to
Yeah.
congratulate the American women's hockey team. They have medals in every single every single hockey tournament the Olympics have had since women's hockey was allowed in the Olympics in 1998. So the women's hockey team has done an amazing job, and they came in second this year. They should have won, but we'll let Canada have this one, I guess.
It's just
We'll get
gross.
them next. We'll get them next time. But like, I feel bad that all the work these athletes do to be showcased, and this is what they get. This is where they get to showcase. And I just feel bad for the athletes. They work their whole lives to be here, and that's the stuff they get to. Like, how many people? Like, you pull up that picture again, Nick. How many people know what athlete is in that picture? I bet zero people can find out who that athlete is. And all people are talking about is the background.
Unless it's
That
like
is
Usain
so
Bolt,
sad.
Michael Phelps,
Sean
what
White.
is it? Gymnastics, Simone. Like that's literally it.
I
But-
think that's another thing. Like the Winter Olympics doesn't get enough marketing as the Summer Olympics. Like every single athlete that you just named is from the Summer Olympics. People
Yep.
can't name Olympic
Sean
athlete
White.
Sean
I
White.
said Sean White.
Come on now, the legend.
who's
I think
now
this was his
retired.
last one
But
as well.
This was his
Yeah, it
last.
was.
One. He just
Last
retired.
one.
I would say most
Like,
of the ones I
there's
can
no
right now
market.
say right now are all the ones I grew up watching. Like I don't know a lot of. But again, I literally didn't watch. No, sorry. I think I watched 5 minutes of the Olympics this year with my dad right before the Super Bowl went on, where it was curling. It was us versus China for curling. Which
Ayo, curling's
honestly,
good.
growing up, I did like curling. Like I think it's an interesting sport, but I think the bigger problem for the Olympics. Well, I know, like, we don't want to get into politics. I'm not going to go there, but like, this Olympics got taken over by politics, which is the sad truth of it. And like we were all saying, the Olympics should be a showcase of not just the athletes, but like humanity itself. Like all of us coming together, every single country, to participate in just the best competition from
The friendliest
centuries.
competition too.
Right, and it's supposed to be the friendliest, and it should be about like showcasing that. And so I think, my opinion, it should be given to countries that are showcasing that themselves and not putting politics above people. And there's a lot of countries that do that. I mean, every country does that. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen in every country, but like there are definitely ones that do it better. So
LA's gonna be dope in like 2028
It
or
will
whatever.
be.
They're gonna kill it. I guarantee. they're
Live
gonna-
stream from LA, boys.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, going back to
No.
like politics with the Olympics, I mean, the biggest Winter Olympic moment that I can remember is the U.S. upsetting Russia. To what was it for?
with
To win
hockey in
gold.
'84, was it?
Yeah,
1980.
yeah, but that was literally because it wasn't because like, oh, it was a huge game or whatever. Like, oh, you know, it's really competitive. No, it was because it was the Cold War, and we were two countries that at any point had doomsday devices pointed at each other.
And
So,
because we
like-
were still using amateurs.
Yes, we were still using amateurs, but
That
it was
brings
there
up
was
another point.
Trash cans.
What, amateurs?
Yeah, no, Russians.
How do
So
no.
Uh,
How does the NHL not allow the best hockey players in the world to participate? I'm so like I understand.
COVID,
like,
it's only
amateurs
this year's
stuff
because
like
of COVID. They were supposed.
That's
to.
not entirely true.
They were
COVID isn't-
supposed
isn't
to
real.
this year.
I think,
Okay, well-
no, the NHL owners use that as a scapegoat. They didn't want.
Well,
the
it's a
players
good
to go to
one,
the Olympics
so,
anyway, that was their scapegoat.
This year it was a
Terrible.
fair excuse in my opinion. So we'll move
Terrible.
on to probably the best topic we'll have for this one, in my opinion. I think we'll all be able to get into this one a little bit in our last one of the day. The XFL integration into the NFL. I don't know how much any of you guys have read about it already, or anyone else who's listening to this has heard of it. So the XFL came to a deal with the NFL the past couple days. I'm assuming that's part of the reason why The Rock is in the Super Bowl, for being honest. That completely sucked my brain. Where the XFL is essentially going to
Finally.
become, finally, it's essentially going to become the test rat, if you will, for the NFL, which is actually dope. So, Andrew, go ahead.
So speaking of that, I've known in the past that they had this league called the Spring League that the NFL was using to like drafted people who were trying to go to the combine use that as a way to like position themselves during the off season to be signed by NFL teams, and a lot of players that were actually signed or drafted who then were cut before the season started were sent there to the Spring League, which is an actual league, and there's like 8 teams involved in it. And this was like after the XFL like went under, they started bringing like the Spring League in, and they started bringing other teams in, like leagues in, and like the Spring League has been around, I guess, for a while, and now it's like finally been populated to the point where like they have like enough talent in there, like where NFL teams are recognizing them, like the players on those teams.
I wonder if this will take its place. I wonder if this will kind of become one, because the whole idea that this is almost becoming the minor league of football, but it's really just turned into off-season football. Like, you're still going to see really good. This isn't whatever the league was a few years ago that died so quickly. What, AFL? The AFL or whatever? That was awful. It was a lot of stuff was cool, but it was bad. And honestly, it's kind of weird timing, because the XFL is going to go against the the USFL or whatever it is, the one that's literally starting. So that's going to be really weird. Yeah, it just started recently, so it is going to be a little bit weird. But I do think that this is a great way to test out new things, to be a minor league that still has talented people who didn't get drafted. Like, there's still a lot there, and people would love to watch off-season football. Like, maybe not as aggressively, but still.
I would be just as aggressive about it.
You would find a team that you would like in the future. It wouldn't have to be like something right away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I think the thing I like about this is that it's being used to groom coaches and referees, actually, is what I heard reported today.
That too.
So not just players, but they're going to try out rules, different things like that. The only thing that this deal is missing is letting the best team in the XFL play the worst team in the NFL at the end of the year.
Yes.
It's such a bad idea. No, it's so bad.
It's a logistical nightmare. I can guarantee you. Adding someone to a new division, changing the schedule, getting the right
spot.
It's a complete swap. It's just a complete swap. When the Jets suck, they go down, and we get the other one. They take completely just swap.
Oh, it's so bad.
I don't care anything about the logistics.
If it works in Europe for soccer, it would work here for football. Like, that's the point.
No.
It should.
Oh, you're talking about fake football?
Okay.
Hey, they will always be far and above. I'm saying I like football better, but they will always have the bigger brand. So whether you like it or not, the rest of the world will never take on.
You need to distinguish football versus soccer, because we just use football and football. That's just not going to go well.
No, that's football, soccer. Soccer.
No, it's football and fake football.
Hey,
No, I work with a guy who's from Brazil. Like, it's like U.S. is the only place. Like, oh yeah, football is like American football is where
we're
it's
world
at. Everywhere else
champions
is
in America.
Listen,
Me and Grant actually last night were calling football tackle ball.
we all know that tanking is a problem in the sport of football.
I have a question
Yes.
about the XFL situation that's going on. With this now integration happening, are they going to associate them with actual NFL teams, so like they could actually end up being like practice roster like teams that they can like bring up?
I think it's quite possible, but it is off-season football, so there won't be a it won't be a bring up like there is in like baseball where it's all in the same season. But I do agree that it could be for those. Let's say they're the 56 roster spots there was this year on the NFL team. Those bottom 20 who may not play that much, put them out there and let them go be superstars and let them play off-season football so they can actually like get better. Like, send them out there. Like, if they can opt in, they don't have to. They can sit on the bench the rest of their lives. or they can go play in this other league. Honestly, I hope the XFL has like an 8-game league with like an 18 play. I think it's only 18 to start, but like an 18 play, like 8 games a season. It's not a super long thing like the NFL, so players still get time off like during the summer. But truthfully, like, send those players to go play. Let them opt in. Have affiliated teams. I don't even care if each division has an affiliated team. There's 8 divisions. There's 8 teams. Send them all to play on those teams and like get better. Like, just like give them a chance, you know, where they're able to go. They can go get paid. They get paid as much, but they get paid to do off-season football, and they can just be better. Like,
I think it's the only issue that would come up with that is dealing with injury. But I mean, I think that's kind of where it makes sense for a player who hasn't played a ton, who kind of wants more football, because they're not getting a ton of field time. That's not as much of a strain on their body when they're playing, you know, in a full NFL game. But I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential there for, you know, a lot of kind of intermixing stuff between the NFL and XFL, which I'm happy they did that because I heard the XFL coming back, and it was an independent thing. I'm like, it's going to be the, you know, the AAF, the USFL. It's going to fail. Like
I figured it might not just because it had The Rock, and if anyone was going to make it succeed, it was going to be The Rock, which sounds like he's going to make it succeed.
yeah, he already did. He already
Finally.
partnered with the NFL. He
One
already
season.
partnered.
Finally.
Like,
Yeah.
hasn't even been a season. It's
That's
season
true, it hasn't
0.
been,
It
but-
he
hasn't
finally
even been.
relapsed from that face-off song. I'm happy
Finally.
for him.
I'm just gonna
He
keep
finally-
saying finally like The Rock.
He redeemed himself.
It's about drive.
Finally.
Power.
All right, if they won't give us the XFL versus the lowest but worst team, like the Jets or somebody, then they have to give us like the worst team versus the second worst team for the
Yes,
for the
for the
Fox
first
draft
pick.
Get rid of the frickin' Pro Bowl. Nobody cares about it. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care. Get rid of everything. I don't care about the skills challenge that much. Like, it's better than the Pro
No,
Bowl.
We call
but I
it the
don't
trash
see it.
bowl. Can we?
And
No,
I
skills
love
challenge is
the
great.
skills competition.
And we should call it the trash bowl. The trash bowl, is
yeah.
is the fight for the number 1 pick.
Mhm.
Or they'll probably have to be nicer about it. But no,
Maybe
seriously,
they shouldn't, but yeah.
But I think like playing for the first pick, when you look back at like, imagine the Browns going through hell in a final game just to draft Baker Mayfield, just makes a first, makes the number 1 pick, you know, bust so much more hilarious. Or like,
I don't think he's that.
or
good.
just imagine Johnny Manziel. Imagine they had to play
I know that.
a bowl game at the end of it just to draft Johnny Manziel. Are you kidding me? Like, I would quit as a GM if that happened to me. So like, I
Do
think,
you think the
I don't
NFL
know.
will ever
I mean, that would be your fault.
initiate a lottery?
Yeah.
Wait, you
Do you
bring up
think
Johnny
the NFL will
Manziel.
ever initiate a lottery?
Oh, wait a minute. Or even worse, imagine if they traded their first round pick for that year and they still have to play. So you just have to watch your team play so you can get
You're
your
playing for
first round
somebody else to
pick.
get
wait, that can't happen anymore. Then they would have to do the top 2 teams that have their pick, and then yeah.
No, I think you
always
should still
go.
have to play for
No,
it.
no,
I think you
'cause
should
let's
still
not-
have
No,
to
but
play
then
to get the first pick and just you don't get it. That's
Oh
all.
my gosh, imagine having
That's
to
so
torture
much better.
yourself. You still have to play a
Imagine
game
trading
for
the
a pick
first
you don't even
overall
have.
Do you know how hard it'd
Okay.
be to trade the first 2 picks? Like, you know how hard that is? You have to suck, and then
People
also suck
would
at
lose
trades.
intentionally
There's-
then if that was the case.
Yeah, there's also, I don't think anything in recent memory where a team has actively traded a 1 or 2 overall pick before they got to the draft. So it
Well,
wouldn't
I'm thinking like
before.
before the end. So like, I think people. So let's say like,
Like
you
the
know,
Rams, who have no first for how long?
Yeah, 4 years.
So let's say like the Rams. Yeah, the Rams have like no first round pick. So like their super team didn't work out because super teams can't work out if you have that many big heads. That's possible. So imagine they were the worst team in the league somehow.
They just all retire in
And-
2 years.
Yeah, and they have to play, and so they have to play the game, and they gave their first round pick. What is it to the Lions, which is the second worst team? So all the Lions have to do is win the game, and
Actually,
they
I
have
would
the
just-
first
yeah.
and second round
Yeah.
pick.
No,
So
but
like
practically,
just
that's
imagine
never gonna happen.
the flipping like insane stuff that can happen from it. I hate that I
Yeah.
have to censor myself, but hey, we're here.
that'd be
Practically-
once in a like what generation that would maybe
Yeah,
happen.
it'd be
Prac-
hard.
It would be
Like,
so worth it.
It would be. I'm down for that, but like I just
But, like,
Never gonna happen.
Bottom 2
Yeah.
worst teams playing for the first round pick, or just I
just
think
want to see
honestly,
the
I love
Browns and the Jets every year playing for that because that's what we know.
No. Lions and Jets.
All right, right
Lions
now
and
it's just
Jets.
Lions and Jets.
Well, it's the
Lions is-
Jaguars.
Or Browns.
this year.
Or
Jaguars.
Giants.
Whoa,
Cowboys.
Giants.
Oh yeah, Giants. Giants will be there soon.
Oh, Giants will be there soon.
The
They
Jags.
Imagine
should-
the Giants
they'll
are
be
so
there
bad
if
they have to
they
play
keep Daniel
themselves. Clearly, with Daniel Jones as their quarterback.
Yeah, true.
Not getting into this.
Okay. Any
Before we
final
close,
remarks? Yeah.
Yeah,
Any final
we
remarks?
should quickly, since we're all huge esports fans.
Yeah.
Let's quickly say what's our biggest esport? Like, what's our favorite esport?
Okay.
Nick, go.
Call of Duty. It's been Call of Duty since 2014. Although Halo is pretty dope right now, and I'm a huge Optic fan overall. I have a jersey. I have a bunch of shit. I didn't swear. I have a bunch of stuff there. So I'm a huge Optic fan. So whatever they play, but Call of Duty is the number one.
I'll hop in here. I don't know if Dungeons and Dragons counts as an esport. Nah, I gotta say, honestly, competitive Overwatch is pretty sick. Because I suck at Overwatch and I've played it a couple times. But something about a perfectly well-oiled, competitive, lubricated team, but like with a healer and a tank, like a team that actually has their
Lubricated with
positions
Nutella.
down, is with Nutella. A Nutella sponsored team would be incredible. Oh my
Nutella,
gosh.
sponsor us. Sponsor us.
I'm gonna get attacked by Twitter in the future. I know it's gonna happen.
This is how we got canceled off our first episode.
Hey, we just said Nutella should sponsor us. I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Okay. Who's
Are you
next?
kidding me?
Who's next?
I would say my biggest is Rocket League. Since a couple of us have played Rocket League, it's always fun just seeing the aerials off the walls, like all the turns in the air.
Resets.
Yeah.
I love watching competitive Halo. It is so
Yeah.
much fun
That's
to
good.
watch. So that was one of my favorite games to play too. So seeing people a million times better than me is amazing to watch. So
Gaming night. We need a
I'm
gaming
Onyx.
night.
Definitely gaming.
oh,
night. Very-
absolutely.
I may or may not be Onyx and Halos.
Jake?
For me,
Or Andrew.
yeah, for me, it's been mostly competitive Madden and FIFA.
Yeah.
Way up on that. It's been very fun competing on FIFA online matches and either getting destroyed by someone really better than me and breaking a couple controllers or hearing them message me on my Xbox app and just getting the messages of how the hell did you make that goal? Mainly all that.
Jake.
So I'm gonna open with I don't watch a lot of esports. If I had to pick one, and even though the game is trash, it's got to be competitive Madden, just because I love football. But
Yeah.
Madden is
Fair
trash.
enough.
We can have an entire segment about that.
Yes, we will definitely be talking. It's maybe sports, but we'll be talking sports games. New MLB's coming out. I buy all 4 every year. They will never watch this, so it's fine if I say that. So I buy all 4 of them every year. So MLB's coming out, so I'm excited for that.
You
but
buy FIFA?
yeah.
You have to get FIFA. FIFA
I
is
know I
so
don't
much-
get FIFA. I haven't played FIFA since I beat Caleb. And he plays
Whoa,
every day.
bro! FIFA this year,
Um,
the graphics are so much better. I'm telling you.
Are they doing a
that's
World
been
Cup
every
version?
year the last 20. So
Is that what they
with the
say about
World Cup-
Madden?
So in 2018, they did a FIFA World Cup edition.
Right.
I'm
Are they
not
doing
sure.
it again?
I'm not sure. But they've been
I mean,
on
they
it.
should if they
said
want
there's
to be.
potential. There's a potential that they might.
I really
but
hope so because that was such a fun mode.
But the thing is that EA doesn't have access to all like the international teams in the world. Like South Korea has not been on. Like they have the South Korean players, but they do not have the South Korean national team on at all.
That stinks.
I just
Well, I
realized
remember in
this is
FIFA
guys. This is an esport we're forgetting. Competitive Club Penguin. Wait, how do we even not talk about this?
Oh,
Bring it up.
Wait, is that
Animal
actually-
Crossing,
so-
Webkins? Oh, you kidding me?
competitive
I'm coming.
Candy Crush.
Oh,
Yo,
So,
I would so
Tetris.
destroy that. You kidding me?
Well, guys, it was a fun first time, and I know we've all
Tetris.
had a good first time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Twice.
Oh,
So,
I love
um,
Rocket League, by the way. That was
Bet.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with,
A Rocket League NRG fan, by the way.
Ooh, same.
Yeah, but
Although I was
NB now.
Cloud9 first. I'm really more of a Squishy fan. I
Okay,
do
well,
love
yeah, Squishy's a legend, so NB now. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Even if nobody watches, we had a good time, and that's all matters. The goal is to do this once a week. We're gonna kind of test it out, feel it out. We're gonna figure out posting dates. Probably gonna be somewhere towards the end of the week. Thank you, Justin. And we'll be posting it hopefully
Real
weekly.
MVP.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. Thank you
And
everyone for watching.
if you do watch this, comment down below what kind of topics or things you'd like us to discuss.
Subscribe if you want to see this going forward. Like the video and have a great rest
Follow
of
us
your
on
night,
Twitter,
guys.
Facebook.
Yes, Twitter,
And
Facebook,
all the above.
Patreon.
all the above. And will be in the description. Thank you, Justin.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.